I almost feel like I have to do this video. There were a lot of things that I didn't like about Madden 11 Ultimate Team. More than likely too many to put in one video, but I'll go over a lot of them. The guys that they had doing Madden Ultimate Team were pretty clueless, and I'll give you many examples as to why I thought they were. They have a new guy taking over this year, so we'll just have to see how that goes. I'll leave a link to his Twitter page in the video description. The first thing I'll start with is promos. Overall, there were some really great promos, especially the golden ticket promo. And for those of you that don't know what that was, it was a promo where they released 20 golden ticket Woodson cards. And if you managed to pull one in a pack, you could create your own card. I'm hoping that they decide to do that again this year. One of the ones that I didn't understand was the one that they did not too long ago, which was when they put Elite Vic, Peterson, Brady, Romo, Jones-Drew, and a few others in packs. At first I thought this promo was a joke, but no sooner did I pull an Elite Michael Vick in an Ultimate pack did I realize that it wasn't. I just don't understand why they would put those guys into packs. It basically defeats the purpose of actually doing the collections to get the cards. Complete this collection and you'll receive 500,000 coins and a very rare card that cannot be found in packs or in weekly deals. Another thing I didn't understand was if they planned on releasing them in packs, why do it now? Those were among the first collections that you could do once you got the game, and most everyone by now had already had those cards and completed those collections. So in my opinion, that was a waste of a promo. And just goes to show that they actually have no clue on what cards people need, let alone have they even played Ultimate Team themselves to know. I was surprised that they had no promos during what seemed like the last couple months prior to Madden 12's release. They should have kept or pre-planned promos leading up to the final weekend of Madden 11 in order to still keep people hyped up for next year's game. They basically just let Ultimate Team die off. They could have at least turned on 25% off packs, which I'm sure is not hard to do. There were many cards that they said would be re-released that never were, like the BCA cards and some of the Christmas cards. I came really close to completing the second BCA collection, but still needed a few more. Don't understand why they just didn't release them all just to give everyone a chance to complete them. They could have even put cards in the weekly deals section and actually made use of it, but I think from what I remember they only used the weekly deals maybe 2 times out of the whole year. The first time they used it I remember was a joke. They put Silver Brady Quinn along with 2 other cards and wanted either 5,000 or 15,000 for each card. I know there were a lot of other promos that I'm forgetting about, but those were just the memorable ones for me. I just can't remember them all. That brings me to my next topic, which would be collections and collection rewards. Most of the collections were worth doing to receive the reward, and then there were some that made you think, wow, this guy is not even good enough to start in my roster. I'll give you guys a more recent example, and that would be the Oklahoma collection reward. The reward for that collection was 97 overall Roy Williams, but if you looked at his stats, you would have thought he was a mid to high 80s gold card. I honestly thought that this card was an embarrassment towards Roy Williams. This is a legendary card that is supposed to be from one of his best years in the NFL, and you guys give him those stats. I'm honestly not sure what they were thinking with that one. Another problem that we had was the fact that they made too many cards of the same player, and probably the best example of that would be Michael Vick. So they had the first edition silver card, then they made the 85 overall second edition gold card. They also made an 85 overall fantasy card with the exact same stats. The Falcons collection reward was 92 overall Michael Vick. Once you managed to complete the former #1 overall draft picks, you received 87 overall rookie Michael Vick. Then from one of the second edition collections, you received 95 overall elite Michael Vick. Then they released 93 overall Pro Bowl Michael Vick. And finally the Virginia Tech collection reward, which you guys guessed it, another Pro Bowl Michael Vick. This one a 99 overall. Don't get me wrong, I think that Michael Vick is one of the best QBs to ever play the game. But I think there were other players that were well deserved of a second or even a third card. We all know how good Michael Vick is, so I don't know why they didn't just make the elite card a 99 and just stop there. They also did a pretty good job of ruining the value of certain cards. One that I could think of would be the 99 overall golden ticket Peyton Manning card. They only made 50 and everything on that card was a 99 except his speed and agility. After they made that card, they made the team collection reward collection, which most of you know the reward for that was Pro Bowl Peyton Manning, which was basically identical stats. Another card that they ruined was legendary Walter Payton, which I thought was supposed to be one of the rarest cards in the game, even though he wasn't numbered. He actually was rare from the beginning when they first released him, and I managed to get one. So they released him in packs one other time, and people still had a hard time pulling him. Then they released him one other time until finally making him able to be pulled in silver packs on up. And then before you knew it, he was all over the block. Then to top it off, they released 2 more Walter Payton cards with better stats, but with significantly less card value, which didn't make any sense at all. I guess all that was just a stunt to try to hype everyone up for the legendary packs that would be released in next year's game. I also didn't care for the live tournaments that they had for Madden 11. It was a great idea though, and I understand what they were trying to do. They wanted to make it to where if you were good and won a lot of games and tournaments that you would receive less coins each time you played them, just to prevent people from continuously making coins from winning the same tournaments. Also at the same time, they wanted to try to prevent quitters from quitting mid-game as sort of a penalty that they would receive less coins the next time they played that tournament. So basically, if you won a tournament, you would be rewarded coins for winning, and each time you played that tournament, the amount of coins you won would drop a certain percentage. The same way if you got knocked out of a tournament and decided to try it again. Again, this was a good idea, but it mainly discouraged a lot of people from wanting to play it. For example, let's say I made it to the 3rd round of the tournament and then lost my next game. I would have to start all over again. So now I played that same tournament and again I get knocked out in the 3rd round. So all that has done is basically discourage me from wanting to play that tournament, and each time I play it I would receive less coins. So that in my opinion is why the live tournaments have been dead as of late. Not to mention the farther you make it in each round, the harder it is finding someone to play, because you have to wait for someone else to make it to the same round you're on. Plus all you're playing for is coins. They need to make it where by winning a tournament you would receive and unlock a special Madden Ultimate Team card that you can only win for playing and winning that tournament. Then people would keep wanting to play to try to earn that card even if they lost and had to start over. Speaking of games, one of the most BS things that has aggravated me the most this season is for the fact that I can't finish a game against the computer when someone decides to quit. They fixed this in Madden 10, but I don't understand why they done away with it in Madden 11. From what I was told, you will still be unable to finish a game against the computer in Madden 12, and this blows me away. I'm curious to see how they handle that this year, if at all. Also, I know I'm not the only one that had this problem, but if you had a full roster of 55 player cards, plus had cards sitting in your pending collection, for some reason it would not allow you to play a user versus user game, and once you got matched up for a game, it would freeze and lock up your PS3. Hopefully that gets fixed this year. The posting fee for 90 plus overall cards I thought were way too high, and I think they realized that mid-season, because you'll notice they dropped the posting fees on the 2nd edition cards. So hopefully they get that right in the new game. That pretty much covers some of the problems I had with Ultimate Team this year. I know there's probably more I'm forgetting, but I'll go ahead and share a few ideas I had that they could possibly add this year or we could possibly see in the future. As far as collections go, I think it would be cool instead of having the usual collection reward card, to have a collection where you would receive a limited edition numbered card for being one of the first to complete that collection. Just as an example, let's say the collection was called AFC and NFC Top Wide Receivers, and the coin amount for completing that collection was 300,000 coins. If you were among one of the first to complete it, then you would receive a rookie or maybe elite Randy Moss that was numbered to 100. So if you completed it first, then you would receive number 1 of 100, then the next guy would receive number 2 of 100, and so on. After all 100 were gone, then everyone after that would just receive the standard coin reward for that collection. They wouldn't have to do this for all the collections, maybe a couple. Just think that it would be something different just to change things up. Another idea that I thought of would be to maybe get with a big card company like Panini or Topps and actually release ultimate packs that you could purchase at the store. All they would have to do would be to make 2 different packs, one for Xbox and one for PS3, and each pack would be assorted with different cards, just like if you were to buy a pack from the game. Then in every few packs they could throw in a limited edition number card that would have a code on the back of it, where you could redeem it at the PlayStation Store or Xbox Live, where you would receive that card for your team. I think not only would this be something for the regular Madden Ultimate Team players, but would also open up for card collectors as well. Plus too, if you think about it, Madden 10 and eventually Madden 11 Ultimate Team will come to an end, and you won't be able to log in to see what cards you had. This way, at a few years down the road, when Madden 15 or 20 came out, you could say, "Yeah son, back in my prime, I used to be the Madden Ultimate Team king." Maybe not exactly like that, but you get my point. You would actually have a real copy of that card you could put in a card collection or frame on your wall, just to have something to remember of your accomplishments in Ultimate Team from that year. A friend of mine even had the idea that it would be cool if you could transfer your top 5 cards and carry them over to the next game each year. So like I said before, you could be playing Madden 20 and still have Elite Mega or Legendary Woodson on your team, just as like an incentive. So those were a couple of my many ideas I have. Again, I just feel that after playing this game mode each year, there is really no sense of accomplishment. Would be awesome if we just had something to remember from each year besides just having the game itself. So with all that said, I would love to hear what you guys liked and didn't like in Madden 11 Ultimate Team, as well as other ideas that you had that they could possibly change in Ultimate Team. Feel free to write all that in a comment below. And who knows, maybe we can get this video viral enough to where someone from EA would possibly see it and use some of our ideas from people who have actually played Ultimate Team. This is Infamous. I'll see you guys in my first Madden 12 video in a few days. Peace.
Watch out, he's got space.